This is the Transformers Generations War for Cybertron Trilogy Siege Deluxe Class Crosshairs. Crosshairs is part of the final wave of Deluxe Class figures for the Siege toy line heading into Earthrise. And here he is. Pretty neat. Let's get him out of packaging. And here is Crosshairs out of packaging. And you know what? He actually looks pretty decent. I wasn't going to get him because, I wasn't a big fan of repaints, but especially if they're not in the mainline Season 1 cast of the Transformers. But, I was thinking maybe for Earthrise we're going to get a proper Crosshairs, a more accurate one, since, I don't know, for some reason at the back of my head, I was thinking, I've always thought Crosshairs was a 4x4 monster truck, like a huge pickup monster truck. I never had the toy, but it always stuck to me that he was like a monster truck. And I was thinking, this guy is a Ironhide repaint. He is not a space bus, Cybertron and space bus. He has to be like a monster truck. And so I researched and I, looked at pictures on the internet, and lo and behold, he's not really a monster truck. He kind of looks like one of those vehicles from Robotics, that old 80s cartoons, the predecessor to Transformers, Robotics. And based on this picture, on this image, this is the actual G1 toy. He looks like a lunar rover, an off-road Martian rover, or a Cybertronian off-world rover. So, I guess this is as good as we're going to get a Crosshairs figure, because look at him. They really nailed the colors on the G1 toy. It's dark blue with red. And even the Target Master, sure, he's not a Target Master, but you can always get a Target Master to pair with him. And it's like, even the gun, they got it in black and red. And he's going to turn into a Cybertronian space bus. And, it's not a 4x4, but it's a Cybertronian vehicle. So I'm guessing this is it. This is probably this is probably as close as we're going to get to a Generations Crosshairs. So I went ahead and got him. So he looks pretty good. He looks pretty beefy, as was the G1 toy. Of course, he does not come with this. Obviously, this is the Target Master that came with the Skywarp Siege figure. This is obviously from Red Alert, so we're not going to use that in the review. He does come with a repainted axe or hammer and railgun type of blaster that we've seen with Ironhide. So that's a repaint. The only difference that this figure has with the Ironhide figure, other than the paint apps or color of the plastic, is this really fantastic head sculpt. And you're probably wondering, hey, that's not what Crosshairs look like in G1. He did not have that faceplate like that. He kind of looked cool, But I believe, if I'm not mistaken, they actually got that head sculpt from the Marvel Comics comic version of Crosshairs. The colors are off. It's all black and red, where it should have been like a blue helmet with that light blue, grayish glasses, visor, and faceplate. But the sculpt looks really, really nice. And I'm guessing that's from the Marvel Comics. So, pretty neat. I'm glad Hasbro is paying homage to both the G1 toy and the Marvel Comics version of Crosshairs. Now, speaking of repaints and all that, here are the other characters done in this mold. Here's Ironhide and Ratchet. Obviously, Ratchet is different altogether, mold, legs and all that, as I've done in the review. But in terms of the sculpt, it is a dead ringer for the Ironhide mold. Even the gun is exactly the same. Not going to compare that. The only big difference, again, as I said, is that head sculpt. So, pretty cool. Okay. Articulation is going to be the same. Transformation is the same. It's got a nice little manual. You're probably going to ask, is there mold degradation? Unfortunately, there is. It's the third version of this mold, and there's already some looseness, at least on my copy of the figure. It's a little loose. Waist joint is still tight, but arms are okay. But the legs, yeah, they're they're pretty loose, and they're much more loose than the Ironhide figure, and it's a shame. I thought, you know, being just the third version, it'd still be tight, but it's not a deal breaker for me. I don't think so, because it's good enough. You can still stand. You can get him in those really nice poses. I will mention this though: the plastic that they used for his torso right here, it feels a little cheap and light, much like the wheels. But if you don't really get to see it a lot of the times when you're posing and playing with him, I guess it's fine. Okay, so that's pretty cool. All right, so let's transform Crosshairs. Okay, first thing you want to do, make him look up. I guess you could do this. The Ironhide figure I got wasn't able to do that, so I guess we could transform him properly now. Is that it? Yep. And let me see if we can look down all the way down. Okay. All right, look at that. So it does fold flush. Very nice. Okay, do that and do this. Join the handsia there. Okay, like that. And then, oh, okay. Why isn't it? Okay, sorry, my bad. It's supposed to, okay, rotate like that. Okay. And then, all right, cool. Now the legs fold up, transforms basically just like Ironhide. Okay, that's never happened before. Interesting. I guess more of that mold degradation. Okay. And collapse whole assembly right there. Oh, man, what are you doing? Okay. 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 Close that. That. And there you go. What the? It's not tabbing in properly. Why not? Because you're supposed to be tabbing it on the forearms. Okay. All right. There you go. So it transforms exactly like Ironhide, and you can put the gun right here or right here. I think it's best if I put it on the forearm. Yeah, it rolls okay. Mold's basically exactly the same. Just a little bit of mold degradation. It kind of sucks, but that's what you get for getting a third version of the mold. So, you know, final thoughts on the figure. Should you get him? I think if you're a big fan of Crosshairs, I suppose you can wait for like that Martian lunar extra that planetary rover that we've come to know in G1, but being that as it may, it is a Cybertronian vehicle, I believe, and this is a Cybertronian vehicle, I don't think we'll get a closer or another crack at Crosshairs for the Earthrise. You know, I could be wrong. I wish I was wrong. I wish I were wrong, because I would love to see that 4x4 lunar rover, but given as it is a Cybertronian alt mode, and they've pretty much nailed it with this guy in terms of colors and heft. The only missing accessory for this figure is giving him a Target Master, which is easily remedied by the ton of Battle Masters that Hasbro has released for the Siege line. I think this is as good as it gets, folks. I think if you want a Crosshairs figure, this is what you want to get. So the figure is going to get an 8.5 out of 10 for me. I hope you've enjoyed this little video review. If you did, please let me know in the comment section below. Let me know what you think of this Siege Crosshairs figure. Hit that notification bell so you never miss out on any of my latest video reviews. This has been the Transformers War for Cybertron Trilogy Siege Deluxe Class Crosshairs. Thanks for watching.